Tandinanane, tandinanane, tandanana. Ding ding! What is creatine?
So I'm Vaibhav, I'm an international fitness trainer, and today I'm going to talk about creatine and its uses, its side effects, and the benefits of creatine, and everything you want to know about creatine. Creatine is found in different forms. The most common form of creatine is creatine monohydrate. Creatine is also found in other forms. Creatine HCl is also there. So let's talk more about creatine monohydrate, which is the most common form of creatine. So creatine is basically a dietary supplement which helps us increase our exercise performance by helping us increase ATP, which stands for adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy that is stored in our cells. So this helps us do a few extra reps while doing exercises and all. So in the long run it makes a big difference.
This is the chemical structure of creatine, which is read as 2-carbamidyl methyl aminoacetic acid.
Jesus Christ.
Keeping things simple, this organic compound is a direct derivative of glycine, L-arginine, and methionine, which are basic amino acids, which are found in normal foods.
Creatine monohydrate is one of the most highly researched supplements, so it is very safe. But on the other hand, there are few flaws of the supplement as well, which I'll be talking about in the next slide.
So now let's talk about phosphocreatine. Coming to that in a while, when we do exercise, we normally obviously use energy, which is known as ATP. In this case, when our muscles contract, we obviously need to relax them as well, for which we need ATP. That's why when people die, they can contract their muscle but can't bring back to their normal state. So as you can see, we need creatine. But note that creatine does not produce ATP. But
ATP levels are high, or if you're resting, creatine accepts the phosphate of ATP and becomes phosphocreatine, while ATP becomes ADP. Now, if you run out of energy during your workout and your ATP levels are low, the phosphate or phosphocreatine gets transferred back, so ATP is generated, and therefore you will have more energy.
thus you can expect greater performance physically when you do exercise.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the dosage of creatine, when you can have creatine, when it's most effective, how to use it, and all those details. So coming to when you want to have creatine, the time which you take the supplement is not entirely important, because it can be used at any time, because it stays in the muscles obviously. So the timing of when you have creatine is not very important. You can have it with meals, you can have it pre-workout, post-workout, before bed. It doesn't really matter, but it's something that you must have daily. So 5 gram is a reasonable recommended dosage that you can look to have on a daily basis, and it only works daily if you have it daily. So I mean, you can have it here and there, but it will be most effective if you have it daily, because at times if you have creatine today, the energy might only be used tomorrow. So have it on a daily basis, and around 5 grams is what I would recommend. And there are different phases like loading phase and all, in which you stack up 20 grams of creatine for the first 1 week and all. So there are different approaches. From a personal point of view, I prefer having 5 grams daily. I've also experimented with having 10 grams daily. And when it comes to my personal experience, how I benefited from creatine, well, I can say I've been working out for 11 years now. So, and I've been using creatine for the last 2 years. So the first 2 to 3 months from when I started having creatine, I could see a good improvement in my physical performance, lifting weights and all. So strength wise, I became a bit stronger. I was able to do a few extra reps. So I found it very helpful. But at this point of time, I don't find it really useful. I don't find any specific benefit, but I'm just having it still for the sake of having it. This is what normal creatine double looks like. So there are different companies as well. I've even experimented with having 10 gram a day because I'm a serious athlete who works out twice a day, plays cricket, does fitness training as well. So my lifestyle is very active. So I've had 10 grams a day for maybe 20 odd days, and I found it good as well. But currently I'm only having 5 grams a day, and that's what's recommended for most people, the size of a scoop which you get when you buy. So let's talk of the possible side effects or effects of having creatine. Oh no! See, generally when it comes to creatine, it's a very safe supplement and research has backed it completely, but there are instances, there are certain side effects, and one of the most common problems of people having creatine is associated with kidney damage. So but this is nothing to be yearly afraid of, because it only occurs when you don't have enough water. So if you're someone who's consuming maybe 3 grams or 5 grams a day, aim to at least have 3 liters of water, whatever your weight and activity level is. And yeah, maybe more depending on your body weight, your activity levels, the place where you live in, the humidity levels, all those things. So that's basically like how much water you should drink. So for a healthy individual, this shouldn't be a problem, and you could have creatine without any problem. If you have any previous problems regarding kidney and all, then this might be an issue. Otherwise, there is absolutely no problem for anyone to have creatine. And even if you have a few extra grams, it will still do no harm if you're drinking enough water. The second effect I want to talk about is dehydration. So when you have creatine, you tend to get dehydrated. So coming back to the same point earlier, drink enough water. So that's done. Third effect I'm going to talk about is water retention or bloating, which is very common when you have creatine. So what happens is when you have creatine, you get bloated, you tend to store more water in your muscles. So this can be a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing. You get that fuller look, your muscles get a fuller look. So some bodybuilders and people like that, but generally if you get a bit bloated, you lose a bit of your muscle definition. So this is something you may not yearly like and can be called as a side effect. But on the other hand, it's just a very minute amount of bloating and water retention. And obviously if you don't have for 2 days, it goes, so it's no big deal actually. So the last and final side effect I'm going to talk about is the most important part. It's not a side effect, but it's rather a drawback of creatine. So creatine, as we all earlier discussed, helps us in increasing your ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the form of energy which helps us do heavy intense exercise. But just by eating creatine alone, you're not going to get anything in particular. Oh no! Because creatine helps us increase our energy, which we use when we were exercising, and when we do heavy exercise, we get to push a bit extra. So if you're not training well, you get absolutely nothing out of having creatine, because yeah, you're not utilizing that extra energy that you're getting to increase your performance. So if you're not training, creatine, absolutely nothing. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'm going to wind up. If you have any other doubts regarding this subject or anything regarding to fitness, feel free to drop it in the comment section. And if you like the video, do like, comment and share, because that's what I'm getting out of free advice. I don't really get anything much out of it unless YouTube pays me. So yeah, and of course I'm going to share something that's very useful for all of you. If you want to get homemade creatine from me, which is made at home, which is completely safe and useful for any of you, whether you are an athlete, a normal average gym goer, a bodybuilder, a powerlifter, or just someone who's looking to build some lean muscle or lose fat, it will definitely be helpful. So if you want to get my products and get in touch with me, send me a mail, which I'll be dropping in the comment section. Tip of you.